Born in Buffalo and raised in Cleveland, Karen Brown Johnson attended Radcliffe College. In 1967, Karen came to Schenectady with her husband to start a new life when he was hired by General Electric. Soon after their arrival, Kent and Eric were born, and Karen began her life as a supportive and engaged mother, committed to raising independent children who would grow to share her values. As her sons started their own families, Karen was the kind of grandmother who would bring humor to her conversations with her 3 grandsons, reveling in their adventures. Karen's life included many friendships that lasted decades, whether formed in her breakfast club, the Stockade Investment Club, her book club, or in the community. These relationships provided support, joy, and meaning to her life.
Karen called me one day and said, I'm taking the boys to Great Escape. Would you like to come along and bring the girls? I said, I have something that I have to go to, so I can't. She said, well, I'll come and pick up the girls and take them. She went to Great Escape with 5 kids for the day and thought nothing of it, which I think sets a lot of context to kind of Karen's approach to all that she does. She never saw the barriers to do things. She always saw the possibilities.
I remember on many of our Christmas trips when we'd go on vacations, she would always be the organizer of fun kid and cousin activities. And those are my strongest childhood memories of her. I'm so grateful for all the strong relationships that we've all forged as cousins, and I feel that Karen was so instrumental in driving those regular family gatherings.
I talk to my kids about how they think about their grandmother. She had this very light and funny and quirky side, and she liked seeing that in our kids. I mean, she really delighted in the silly things they would do.
Certainly I learned to listen fully to people, to not be judgy about where people were coming from, and to really try to get their perspective on things. I think she did that very well, and it sort of rubbed off on me.
Karen continues to teach me lessons. I've learned things that Karen never said out loud. Just what a wonderful mom she was, because she's produced 2 fabulous men as sons.
I didn't know Karen really as a community person. The things that she did for the community, she just talked about some things in general, but mostly I heard about them through the newspapers. I didn't know about most of the stuff that she did. For me, she was just a friend across the table.
We've been in a women's investment group together that Karen really had a hand in starting. I love thinking back and thinking of all the times that I could just look over the table at her. She'd be smiling or laughing, and it's almost like sharing a private joke with her. So I loved that.
With Mike Delarocco, Karen enjoyed a unique 3-decade partnership that made both of their lives richer.
When I first met Mike Delarocco, there were a few things I learned about him. He was the head of the Conservative Party. He led a group that picketed my house when I was a young child. I did wonder, is this kind of an odd couple? How is this going to work out, Mike and my mom? Over time, I learned they shared so much in values. They enjoyed doing so many projects. They enjoyed spending time together in the garden, having meals. It really turned out to be a wonderful relationship, and I'm grateful for the importance and for the quality of that relationship in my mom's life.
My father and Karen were pretty much constant companions for over 30 years. They attended many political dinners and other events, but also I think they had a relationship where at the end of the day they could enjoy a quiet dinner together, just the 2 of them, and get out of the other arena for a while.
I'm so grateful for Mike and their caring companionship and love, and for his family.
They would laugh and have a good time together, and it was a great relationship.
Karen grew up in a family deeply committed to children and education. Her grandparents started Highlights for Children when Karen was just 4 years old. Growing up in the Highlights family shaped her values and attitudes. Karen, in turn, contributed greatly to the family business, serving on the board of Highlights and bringing her effective leadership style to the family enterprise.
Seeing her in our family, she was not the out front leader. She was the quiet leader who was very consistent and knew what was happening and pushing on her ideals.
Our family is very idealistic about the idea of serving children, creating fun with a purpose, making sure that kids can be the best kids they can be. And you know, we've grown up with that, and that was how we were treated by our grandparents and our parents. And it's just, I think, there's a legacy here that is so fantastic and so strong.